Good morning, everybody. My name is Onepeg MG, and this is the news. So today was something pretty interesting. We had a photo that was released by BSG outlining a whole lot of shotgun rounds. So what I wanted to do was go through that list and look at all of the different shapes and sizes and ideas in terms of what we can expect. So let's get into it. First up, what they did is they listed different forms of 12-gauge rounds. The first three being different sizes of buckshot: 5.25 millimeter, 6.5 millimeter express, and 8.5 millimeter magnum. The only difference between these is the different sizes of the pellets. Whenever they talk about millimeters, they're talking about diameter of the shot itself. 5.25 millimeter being 0.395, and 8.5 millimeter being a lot closer to what we would refer to as double-aught buckshot, where 5.25 millimeter is more like quintuple aught buckshot. It's like 5 zeros. It's really, really small. Next, we have some interesting rounds. The next is the Hornady 2 Sabot round, which is a 2-stage expanding slug. The FLECHETTE rounds. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with flechettes, flechette is just a really fancy way of saying dart. In the case of a dart slug like this one, that means that it's got several, like 15 small steel or lead darts inside of it that then impale whatever it is that you're shooting at. Pretty cool stuff, pretty lethal. In the world of Tarkov, I don't think we're going to see too much in penetration sense, but will still be interesting to fire. Obviously, we're then familiar with the rip and lead slugs that are already in the game. This next one is interesting. Tau Fledermaus is a YouTube channel that decided to make a homemade 50 BMG 12-gauge slug and met with some really interesting results. Now, the idea of a 50 BMG shotgun round tumbling through the air at its target is obviously a little bit of a meme. I don't think we're going to have to worry too much about this round in the world of Tarkov in terms of its lethality. But it'll be interesting to see what the devs decide to do with this, and if they end up actually making it kind of lethal, or if it just is going to end up being more of a nuisance. The next thing we have is an AP-20 armor-piercing round. Now, that one is a little bit more interesting. It looks like this one could actually end up being a little bit lethal. It is marketed as something that can punch through steel plate. And according to the website where this round is manufactured, the round is capable of punching through NIJ level 4 body armor. So it'll be interesting to see where Tarkov places this. The next round on the list is the FTX Custom Light. Now, this round is manufactured by Hornady. The marketing of this round is a little bit sexist, saying that it's intended for ladies and kids that love the idea of hunting, but don't like the idea of a lot of recoil contained in a 12-gauge. I'm actually interested to see how Tarkov uses this. Are they going to be able to modify the recoil of a shotgun by including the FTX round? Or will it still be roughly the same and they're going to give it some just different damage and penetration characteristics? I'm not really sure here. The next one is Russian produced, which is the Grizzly 40. Has a very, very interesting size and shape to it. After that is the Copper Sabot Premier Expansive Bullet. Now, the Copper Sabot is, again, an expanding shotgun slug made of copper, more flesh damage. The next two that we have are the Polev 3 and the Polev 6U. Again, Russian produced by a company named Polev, I guess, according to the person that helped me with the translations of this, Newbie Raya. Again, thank you very much. Now, this last one here in the 12-gauge section is a Superformance Expansive Bullet. Now, this shotgun slug made by Hornady, again, is very similar to the FTX Custom Light, but is not touted as having that lesser recoil. So the Superformance is, again, designed to then hit and expand once it breaks through the flesh of the target. And causes devastating amounts of damage. Now, all of these, I guess, expanding rounds compared to that of RIP, I'm not sure where it's going to fit in, but I would say that y'all legs really need to worry about where they're going to be at once .12 hits. So that does it for the 12 gauge. Let's look at the 20 gauge. For the first 4 offerings on this list of different types of buckshot, these, again, just refer to different sizes of diameter. Obviously, the smaller the diameter listed on this list, the more of them you're going to be able to fit per shell. After that, we have the 20x70 Devastator bullet. Now, the Devastator slug is produced by Duplex. Has a very interesting shape to it. It's almost like an hourglass, with the idea being that once it hits its target, it expands upon entry, if there's entry. I don't think it's going to be effective at all against armor, not even like a P.A.C.A. But if you are able to hit somebody in the legs, again, probably some crazy damage here. There's also offerings of a Polev 3 and Polev 6U. I would just say this is going to be scaled down from 12 gauge to 20 gauge, much like its counterpart will probably have the same shape, just will be something that you can fire out of a TOZ. The last option here is a Star bullet. Now, Star is, from what I can tell, Gold Star, which is a brand. Looks like it's just a different type of lead slug that is offered through a different manufacturer. I don't know if there's anything necessarily special about this because I couldn't find any ballistics characteristics of it, but it is an offering. And the coolest thing about all of this is now we are going to have multiple options for the TOZ, which right now we only have 20 gauge buckshot. And I'm not even sure what size buckshot that is. Is it double-aught? Is it, quadruple-aught? Who knows? But for now, it looks like coming up in .12, we're going to have some interesting options for the TOZ, which means it's going to be an interesting TOZ only 1-40 run for whoever decides to do it. That's all I have for today, guys. Thank you so much for all of the love here and on the Twitch channel. Look forward to a couple other videos that I got ideas for coming up in the next week or so. Hopefully, we'll be able to get them out. And as always, thank you guys for taking the time. And I will see you next time. Thanks.